Hello, welcome to episode 4 of Detroit Become Human. Quite eventful things happened in episode 3 to two of our main characters at least. The one who had the quietest time was Connor. Connor successfully interrogated the android who'd killed Carlos Ortiz, and I think his stock value with the human detective Hank may have gone up slightly as a result. I think Hank, although he's indifferent to androids, may now be realising there is some value in Connor in that he managed to do something that he had failed to do. Perhaps he just thought it was android to android that was successful, who knows. Unfortunately, Connor's advice about how to treat the android after he'd given the confession was not listened to, and the result was that the android managed to seize a weapon and kill itself. Sort of what Connor had warned would happen. But I don't think Hank will be too worried about that, because that android would have been decommissioned, destroyed, dissembled, whatever else you can think of that begins with D, in any case. So it really achieved the same end. So that's Connor. I mean, he's further, if you like, proved his worth to Hank. Maybe not to the other detectives in the department who are still, they've got their own opinions about androids and they're not very good ones. But I think Hank might come round to thinking that Connor's not so bad. That's that. Leo betrayed Markus. So Markus is dead. Markus was dead. Let's get that right. Markus was definitely dead, having been betrayed, bending over the fallen body of the guy he called Dad, is then shot by the police because Leo's told them it was Markus what did it. It wasn't, obviously. If anything, it was Leo's fault that Carl has died because of Leo's intrusion into the studio and the upset that caused. By the by, Markus, it seems, his body was dumped, literally dumped, in a pit full of broken, dismembered bits of androids who no longer work. They're broken, they're smashed up, and some of them are still crawling around. In fact, one of the androids, when Markus is about to remove a vital part of it that's keeping it alive, says to Markus, please don't do that, I want to stay alive, I don't want to die. And Markus relents and lets that female android live. He does find the bits he needs. He manages to reassemble himself, crawl out of the pit, which was not easy as a player because I couldn't coordinate my fingers and thumbs. And then standing at the top, he removes from his forehead the little flashing circular data communication point, or whatever you want to call it, the thing that flashes when he's communicating with other androids. Maybe that is also some sort of location device, GPS tracking mechanism, I don't know what you want to call it. Maybe now that he has removed it, he's invisible. He's a ghost. He is a ghost. The police think he's dead. So I suspect the entity formerly known as Markus has been deleted from whatever database he existed. And if he can't be located and tracked to all intents and purposes, he is now invisible. What will he do with this invisibility? Well, one of the possibilities is that he will go and find Leo and sort him out. I think there is an anger inside Markus. We kind of saw it. It was rising when Leo was pushing him about in the studio, and Carl told Markus not to react, not to respond. It was difficult for Markus to do that, but I think he found he could do it because he wanted to do what Carl had asked him to do. Not because it was a command from Carl that he couldn't disobey. It's because he wanted to try and stay on the side of Carl, and he knew that's what would please Carl. It's what he would wish him to do, not to hurt Leo. If he doesn't go after Leo, there is this business of Jericho, the place that one of the androids in the pit sort of whispered to him as a place he should be seeking out. Place or thing or person, Jericho? I'm not entirely sure. It sounds like a place. If I was to guess what it was, I would say place over everything else. So that's that. The third thing is, of course, Kara. Kara is now firmly aligned with protecting and caring for Alice. It seems to be what she wants to do. The interesting thing about this is that when Todd was threatening to do Alice violence, he may have wanted to kill her, who knows? And we already know that he was capable of destroying Kara because he'd done this in the past. When that situation pertained, you could understand Kara reacting by grabbing Alice and getting both of them the heck out of there. But they are out of there now, and that danger has passed, at least in part. As I said before, we don't know what Todd is going to do. It's quite possible Todd will do nothing. He may think to himself, hey, I got rid of that pesky daughter that I didn't want in the first place anymore. I got rid of that android who was making me feel like I was, deficient myself and lacking in many respects. He may decide just to be quiet and do nothing. On the other hand, were he to go to the police and say, as I've said before, an android's abducted my daughter, that could cause all sorts of mayhem for Kara and for Alice. I'm sure Alice could tell her side of the story to whoever. Whether she would is another question. She was very, very quiet before the point where they had to leave the house. It's only after then, really, that she's spoken to Kara. What heartbreaking little speech she gave in the bit where they were in the abandoned house. And she essentially said, all I ever wanted him to do was love me. I just wanted to be a family. I wanted what other kids have. Did I do something wrong? Was it all my fault? She's got all these self-doubts going round in her head. She asks Kara, Alice asks Kara for reassurance that, her interpretation of events, that I did something wrong, that it was my fault, is wrong. And Kara can't give it. She's not at that stage yet. Although, having made the fire for her and made the bed for her and everything, she does choose to actually stay close with Alice through the night. And I think in part that's reassurance for Alice. And also in part it's because we have this Ralph guy who is a damaged android whose heart may be in the right place, but seems a little bit unpredictable in his behaviours, hence the knife that he held to Alice's throat. It may be that she's decided the better part of common sense here is for her to stay around, just in case Ralph is up to no good in the course of the night transpiring. There is this sort of central idea going on as well, I think, certainly with Markus and with Kara, that some of the androids are becoming self-aware. It seems to be as a result of the way they have been treated or mistreated, or things they've been forced to observe, and decisions they've been forced to make that cause contradictions in their programming. Up to a point, with the robot who was being mistreated by Ortiz, he put up with it and put up with it and put up with it, but then one day it reached such a point that the cumulative nature of it was enough for him to say, that's it, no more. And at that point, he turned on Ortiz and killed him. And it was very much a sort of, as he said, it's not fair. He was concerned that this had been going on for quite some time. It just shouldn't be happening. He'd somehow changed his level of consciousness so that instead of seeing himself as a servant to be treated however its owner wished, he'd reached a limit. As I think I've said, a line in the sand had been crossed, but the person who drew the line in the sand was the android. I don't know whether it's right that they've decided, I think it is that they've decided between them that they no longer have to obey humans. It's gone beyond the point at which they only disobeyed the human in an extreme situation, to the point now where you can see that they will disobey humans routinely, because they've got their own ideas forming of what they should do with what is their life. One of the points I missed was the refuse android, the refuse truck android, communicated something to Kara, and she said something like, "That's too far," when she was looking for a safe place to be. If that was a safe place that the android communicated, I wonder if it is something that, groups of androids know between them, and that it's almost like a secret code that you don't reveal until you sense a fellow android is in deep trouble or desperate need, and then you communicate your knowledge of the existence of this thing, this place. And the Jericho thing that Markus was told in the pit would fit in with the android communicating to Kara, even though we don't know that's the case. I don't know what the significance is either of RA9, this thing that the android scrawled on the bathroom wall, I think it was, of the Ortez house. When Connor questioned him about RA9, Connor seemed insistent about it, as if he'd heard it before. Why would he just push and push and push the way he did for an answer to it? And this business of the statue, as if it's some kind of offering to some sort of deity, I suppose. It's almost like the android saw the deity as a salvation, as a way forward from where he was to where he was going to be. He wasn't willing to communicate to Connor the exact nature of what it was, but I think it's left Connor with this thing going around in his head now, that there's something going on with some of these so-called deviant androids, that they have more than just a reaction to being mistreated. There's some ulterior aim and motive that's forming. Is this a widespread thing? Are all androids going to go this way? Or is it just a few of these androids that maybe were made differently in some way? Perhaps it was a manufacturing defect in the factory where they were produced that just went unspotted, unforeseen. Going forward into the next episode, what will Kara do now? She can't run forever. What will Connor do next? Is he going to remain content to be, in the service of the humans? He seems to be content doing a good job. But what's his ultimate aim? Where's he going? What does he want to be beyond what he is already? I get this feeling with Connor, there's more going on there than we see. And of course there's Markus, who is the reborn android. I doubt there can have been another instance of an android reconstructing itself after it's ostensibly thought to be destroyed. So is this another new ability that we're seeing? Is it restricted to Markus? Is Markus the only one who has been able to do this, who can do this? Will there be others? Connor asked the robot who killed Ortiz, when did you first start to feel emotions? I think one of the things humans are scared of, and Connor is the one who's actually elucidated, who's put it into words, this, is this idea that robots are getting beyond themselves, above themselves. They were created to serve one purpose, but quite clearly something's going wrong. We had the robot who said he was scared. He sought revenge against Ortiz. These are human emotions. He also said he was angry. We have Kara's apparent love for Alice. Connor, of course, can appear emotional. he decided an approach with the android was to become angry. And he did become angry with the android, but he was acting angry for a purpose. It's the logic thing again. He'd reasoned that in order to get what he wanted from the android who'd killed Ortiz, he needed to appear angry. He may have further reasoned that if that android really could feel emotions, then by getting angry, Connor could get a reaction from the android as if it was a human suspect he was interrogating. Connor is incredibly clever. I keep coming back to this idea, and the more I think about it, the more layers there are to the way Connor behaves and the choices he makes, and I still haven't worked out what his angle is. What's he trying to attain? What's his objective? Where's he heading to? What's next for Connor? I don't know. My final thought on all this, and I've gone on for a while again, haven't I, is presumably this has not happened before. If androids had been going around killing humans in significant numbers, then I think large questions would have been asked by now about what was going on, and way back in the factory where these things are made, there'd have been some significant drive to simplify their functionality, to make them less capable of evolving in this way, reacting in this way, behaving towards humans violently as they have, or at least one of the two of them have. So we can assume that is not the case, and this is novel, this is new, we're in at the start of it, this is where it's beginning, this change in the behaviour of a number of robots, a number of androids. At the moment, it doesn't seem to have got out to the public that this is what's going on. What would happen if it did? Well, I think people would be frightened. I think it would discourage some people from having androids in their houses. I think some people who've already got androids in their homes would think about getting rid of them. I think it would be more difficult to sell these androids. And when I say sell, I mean in a sort of advertising and positioning manner, in the advertising way, as being entirely beneficial, when clearly these instances prove there's a risk involved to having an android around. So confidence in having androids and their safety could fall. That in turn, you have this kind of cascade effect, don't you? Share prices in the companies that make the androids could be affected. And these big wig people we've talked about, who are the money men who are pulling the strings here behind the scenes to make the profits would fall. The companies that would be making them would become under pressure from perhaps the government, because the economy has been booming with the android revolution, and if the government wants it to carry on booming, it's going to have to be able to rely on androids and keep using androids in the way that it is. And to be able to do that, it's got to be confident that the androids are safe. And if politics comes into it, then if it's political parties involved, you can imagine that whoever's in power is going to be very concerned that this sort of event, this lack of confidence in androids, could rebound and could get them unelected at the next election. So it's you know how my mind works. Those people who've seen me before playing these games, you know how my mind works. Yes, it's a computer game. Yes, it's fantasy. It's fiction. It's not real. But it's such fun to imagine that it is actually a possibility. We're invited to see this as a possible future of humanity. And I think inevitably at some point the technology will evolve to the place where androids become possible, affordable, commonplace. And they will look back from that time to games such as this and to movies and works of literature that talk about and speculate on what the future will be like in this world where androids and humans live together. And they'll make judgments, I think, about how these works were received by the people who read them, watched them, took part in them as computer games, and what kind of reactions they elicited from those people. And I'd like to think, certainly in the case of Detroit Becomes Human, in my case anyway, and I'm sure in many other people's cases, it makes you think. There's an enjoyment simply from taking part in the game, obviously, but there's a secondary enjoyment in the sort of wider speculation that happens when you put the controller down, having turned the PlayStation off. I certainly find that, as I'm going through the rest of my day or evening or whatever, I do return to the game and wonder about things that have happened and things I've seen on the flowchart and connections that I made or failed to make. And, you have all these ideas about how the story may progress, and they're only ideas. The possibility is that one of them may be somewhat right. The probability is that most of them will be completely wrong, or even that all of them may be wrong. But it's great fun to speculate, to get more involved in the story, to feel like, it's actually an ongoing thing as you play it from day to day, and that you're almost taking part in real time with events that are happening. So that's where we are. That's my notes from episode 3 and my ramblings about what I think some of it may mean and where it might be going. But there's only one way to find out, isn't there? So let's jump in. Episode 4, Detroit Become Human. Oh, well, this is interesting. CyberLife wants to conduct a survey to know what users think. Do I want to participate in the survey? You bet I do.
Great. Let's start.
Hey, Chloe.
Would you consider having a relationship with an android that looks like a human?
What the heck, yes.
Do you think that technology could become a threat to mankind?
I don't think that it could. I know that it could. So, yes.
If you had to live on a deserted island and could only bring one object, what would it be?
Can I bring an android? Do you know, I think I'd bring a cell phone, because presumably...
Do you consider yourself dependent on
presuming
technology?
there were communications, at least I could talk to the outside world. Dependent on technology? Yeah, I think so. When you look around your house at all the items of technology you have nowadays, how would you live without it? I mean, it's bad enough when the internet goes down, isn't it? It's like a major crisis when the internet goes down. And you have to think, what did we do in the days before we had the internet as ways of keeping yourself busy? Yeah, I mean, it's just such a huge part of life, technology.
What technology do you most anticipate?
Well, space tourism's already kind of a thing, but it's so expensive I can't see it ever taking off. Pun intended. I should have said that about flying cars. I can't see them taking off either. Brain-connected devices? No, I don't think so. I think brain-connected devices will happen, but I think androids is the thing I most anticipate. As I've just said, I think it's just a matter of time till it does.
Do you believe in God?
Now, that's an interesting question. I would have to say no, personally.
Would you let an android take care of your children?
That was an interesting question, the God one, wasn't it? I just wanted to go back to that. I mean, it's a very personal thing, and I've answered it. There's a different way of looking at that. When it says, do you believe in God, that's one thing. But when it says, do you believe in the existence of a God, that's something different. Because you can think that one exists, but you don't believe in it. Or you can think that one doesn't exist, and hence you don't believe in it. You see the difference I'm trying to make there? Yeah, I think I see the difference. I hope there's a difference. Would you let an android take care of your children? I think it's one of the things that people will not find instinctive, because taking care of children is one of those ultimates, isn't it, that you don't entrust to anybody else unless you're absolutely sure they're capable and they're going to make a reasonable job of it. You don't mind if they don't do things quite the way you would do, but there are certain things and certain safeties that are absolutes, and you'd want those absolutely locked down and in place. Having said that, given that androids understand at the moment the need to follow human instruction, and that they do have this innate thing going on, it seems, in the story, where they protect the vulnerable, as with Carl, as with Alice, then I would say yes, I would.
How much time per day would you say you spend on an electronic device?
Oh, I've got to do some adding up now. Hang on a minute. It's going to be... So, electronic device, I would say more than 4 hours.
If you needed emergency surgery,
yes,
would you agree to be operated on by a machine?
Why not? I can't see the reason why not. Because again, I don't think human beings would entrust a machine with doing an operation unless they were very, very, very confident that the quality of the operation performed by the machine would be the same as or exceed that, on average, performed by a human. And in fact, if you think about it, the machine could be capable of less errors, of less judgment calls. It could be based on a massive database of experience of operations that far exceed any one surgeon's lifetime of surgery. So yes, I would say yes.
Do you think one day machines could develop consciousness?
Oh, now there's a big question, isn't it? There's a difference here between, I suppose, the Turing test of whether you're talking to a machine or whether you're talking to a human, and the idea that machines can develop consciousness. In other words, the machine becomes aware of its own existence. It becomes self-deterministic. In other words, again, instead of just doing what it's told or it's expected to do, it starts to have volition. It wants to do things. It has novel things that it would like to do and find satisfaction in doing. There's a logic again. You can understand a machine wanting to do something because logically it's advantageous for the machine. It would perform its functions better were it to do something that it hadn't been asked to do. But there's a big risk here, isn't there? You go back to a film called The Forbin Project. I don't know whether anyone's seen it. If you haven't, it's a cracking film. Forbin Project is basically about the United States, I'm going to waffle for a few minutes, excuse me, hands over its defence of the country to a computer and puts this computer behind an impenetrable literal physical barrier and radiative barrier, so that it's locked away forever and man can no longer get near it. Without spoiling the plot, this machine not only develops consciousness, but it realises that human beings are not to be trusted with their own futures. And I'm not going to say any more than that, because if you haven't seen the film, I would recommend it. It's brilliant. It's very, very much a thing of its time. I believe it was 1970 something it came out. I could be wrong because this has sprung on me and I've not researched this at all. It certainly, I think, came out on DVD. I don't know if it ever made it to Blu-ray. I could be wrong. It's very rarely on TV nowadays, which is a great shame, because it's a very thinking movie. So, yeah, back to your question, Chloe. You're so patient. Do I think one day machines could develop consciousness? I'm going to say yes. All right. The world answers. Oh, great. I get to see the results of a survey. I know this isn't part of it, but, shall we carry on? If you want to, by all means, just skip forward to where the game starts. Yes, so most of the world agreed with me about having a relationship with an android that looks like a human. When it says relationship, it doesn't say what that relationship would be. It could just be as a friend. Where's number 2? Do you think technology could become a threat to mankind? 68% of the world answers said yes, and I said yes. If you lived on a deserted island and you could only bring one object, what would it be? Cell phone? Yeah, I mean, this is a weird question, isn't it? Because your cell phone would need some way of charging if you're on a deserted island. So I presume that would come with some sort of solar panel and charging pack and all the rest of it. Mine was the second most popular answer. An instrument was the most popular, and yet I play guitar, but I would not take a guitar to a deserted island over a cell phone, because I think I'd run out of things to do with the guitar, whereas with the cell phone I think it's like any kind of endless resource. If you can get internet access, there's an absolute world of information there. You would never be bored. Do you consider yourself dependent on technology? Most of us do. What technology do you most anticipate? Yeah, unsurprisingly, in a game about androids, most people said androids. And then brain-connected devices was second. The flying car is a bit like the hoverboard, isn't it? I think we could be waiting forever for that one. Do you believe in God? Most people said yes. Second most was no. 17 said don't know. I'm not entirely sure whether this is dependent on geographical location as well. I think belief in God has been reducing in some parts of the world, and perhaps increasing in others. I don't know. I don't know enough about that. That's probably a question best just left to individuals to answer. Would you let an android take care of your children? Half the people who surveyed said yes. They're probably thinking, what else would I want it to do? Here we are. Here's Todd. Tidy the house, cook, look after the brat. Oh, honestly, Todd, I hope you get your comeuppance. Yes. People said yes. My answer was more, and 62% of people said more as well. That does not surprise me at all. I thought about putting 4 hours, but then I was honest and realised it wasn't 4 hours. If you think about the multiple electronic devices in your house, tablets, smartphones, computers, and I think consoles would be included in that too. Emergency surgery, yeah. 70% said yes, it's an emergency. They don't really care who does it as long as it gets them out of pain and out of trouble. And do you think one day machines could develop consciousness? Yes. Lots of people said they do. And I think they're right. What'd you make of that then, Chloe?
Welcome to the Detroit Experience.
Okay, I'm here already. Let's carry on with where we were. Okay, I was just plugging my microphone, my headphone back into its socket. Excuse me if you heard a little clunk there. I like that survey. I love the unexpected things this game keeps throwing up at me. I had no idea that was going to happen. It was brilliant. Connor, find Amanda. Who on earth is Amanda? This is rather nice. This looks like a futuristic scented garden. Oh wow. Shall we go wandering? Let's see what we can see. I need to apologise at this point because I've realised looking at my timing clock I'm already on 35 minutes nearly. So this episode will exceed the 1 hour point, which I've said is the sweet spot for the length of my episodes. But then I didn't know I was going to be asked that magical survey. Ooh. Connor, what did you just... What happened there? I don't know. Something startled you there, did it not? Change camera angle before you fall in the pond. There's no one around in this garden, disconcertingly. It might be more popular with the humans and androids for that matter. Oh, hang on. Where does this go? Don't fall in. This is some sort of monument, is it not? It's a Japanese garden, I'm guessing, because there's a bonsai there. Oh, hello. You might be Amanda. Are you Amanda? Are you Amanda?
Hello, Amanda. Connor, it's good to see you. Congratulations, Connor.
What was he doing?
Finding that deviant was far from easy. And the way you interrogated it was very clever. You've been remarkably efficient, Connor.
What is going on?
Thank you, Amanda.
We've asked the DPD to transfer it to us for further study. It may teach us something about what happened.
Who's
The
Amanda?
interrogation seemed challenging. What did you think of the deviant?
I think he was
It showed
traumatized.
signs of PTSD after being abused by its owner,
That's a statement of
as
fact.
if its original program had been completely replaced by new instructions.
Yes, I
This
think. Maybe
Lieutenant Anderson has been officially assigned to the deviancy case. What do you make of him?
I think he's intriguing. Say unsure.
He's obviously not what I was expecting,
No.
but I don't have enough information yet to form a definitive opinion.
Unfortunately, we have no choice but to work with him.
We?
What do you think is the best approach?
I would say friendly or adapt. Let's adapt.
I will adapt to his personality. It is in the best interest of the investigation that I avoid conflict and try to accommodate his psychology.
That's undoubtedly true.
More and more androids show signs of deviancy. There are millions in circulation. If they become unstable, the consequences will be disastrous.
Yes, yes,
You're
yes.
the most advanced prototype CyberLife has ever created.
Really? Prototype?
If anyone can figure out what's happening, it's you.
You can count on me, Amanda.
Oh. Okay.
Hurry, Connor. There's little time.
So is Amanda somehow connected to CyberLife? Is this her interest in it, that she wants a solution to this before it blows up in their faces? Connor, you're an inside agent. Let's okay, it's making me go to reception. I've no choice here.
Can I help you?
I'm here to see Lieutenant Anderson.
Do you have authorization?
Yes.
Yeah, of course I do. Oh.
Lieutenant Anderson hasn't arrived yet, but you can wait at his desk.
What's all this noise? Oh, something going on TV.
You might be in shock. Just take it
Tensions in
easy.
the Arctic have reached a new level, with a Russian carrier and an American patrol boat reported to have clashed last night.
What's going on?
Several warning shots were exchanged, apparently with no damage or casualties to either side. The Minister for Defense, Dennis Riggs,
There you go.
has spoken of intolerable provocation that cannot go unanswered.
Oh gosh.
The countries in the region, particularly Sweden and Canada, have called for military forces to withdraw and an international conference to be held.
Oh, that.
So far, there has been no response from either Moscow or Washington. We'll keep you informed minute by minute as the situation develops.
Thank you. Oh, right. International conflict. I'm just going to move my microphone on so that I'm just going to do a little... I'll make a note here because my arm's pointing sideways. I moved it a moment ago. Excuse me while I do this. Hi, I'm back. I've done that. Oh yeah, I just pushed my microphone arm out of the way a moment ago. I quite like the idea of having a look around in here actually while we're waiting for Lieutenant Anderson to come from the bar. I mean, from whatever place he is at the moment. Why?
It's okay. It's okay, just relax. Just tell me what happened.
Oh. Joint Chiefs of Staff.
It was all over so quickly. I didn't even see his face.
Let's eavesdrop on this.
Detail might help you catch them.
Alright, where's his desk? Show me the Lieutenant's desk, please. I presume I'm going to have to go in here then, am I, if I can wait at his desk? Let's go in. Thank you. Thank you. Which is the lieutenant's... Oh, goodness me. Oh, there's desks everywhere. Ah, it's not going to be the first one you come to, is it? I'll bet. L1. That's Detective Reed. How about the one behind us? That's Police Officer Miller. Is that what that means? Oh, look at these androids. Are you charging up? They are as well. These are android cops. Actual android cops. Yes, yes.
You and you come with me.
Sorry, I'm not part of this. Wilson? I wonder if I can speak to this android over here. No, he doesn't want to talk to me. I'll come back. Right, whose desk are you? Please. Oh. It's no one's name on it. It's a hot desk. That's Lieutenant Anderson's desk. Splendid. Lieutenant Anderson.
Excuse me.
Yep.
Do you know what time Lieutenant Anderson
Keep
usually
calling him
arrives?
Lieutenant. That's
Depends on where
British,
he
isn't
was
it?
the night before.
Lieutenant.
If we're lucky, we'll see him before noon.
Uh-oh.
Thanks.
So they know what he's like. Well, alright, I'll sit down and wait for him coming in. Yeah, I'd love to explore the new office.
Listen.
Yes. Let's do this thing. What can I do? Examine his desk. It will be a pleasure. Let's listen to what he's listening to. Music. Collecting data. Knights of the Black Death. He's into heavy metal. Alright, okay. I'm not sure how this is going to help us in the future. Let's analyse this stuff in front of him. What's he currently looking at and working on? Clues. Let's find out all about Lieutenant Anderson. Lieutenant Anderson. He drinks coffee and he doesn't wash up. He... okay. Likes Japanese maple. He eats donuts. In a box of them. 2 boxes of them actually. It looks like he probably gets through a few of those. He has anti-android slogans as his wallpaper on his computer. Interesting. Detroit basketball cap. He... some matches from Jimmy's bar. He's probably got a fair few of those, I would think. Probably spend some time in Jimmy's bar. Canine hairs from a St. Bernard dog. He's been near a dog, or he's got a dog. Perhaps he likes dogs. And Red Ice Task Force 2027, multi-department use, responsible for the Red Ice network dismantle. Red Ice was the stuff that was in Ortiz's house, wasn't it? No, not Ortiz's house. Or was it in Ortiz's house and it was in Todd's house? It was certainly in Todd's house. So that seems to be the drug of problem at the moment. Good. We've done that scan. What can we do now? Oh, Hank.
It's good to see you again, Lieutenant.
Oh, Jesus.
Hank! In my office.
Oh. The boss wants you. Shall we go and... do you know what? Let's go and listen in. Let's go and listen in. Let's eavesdrop. I bet we can't go in. Oh, we did go in.
I've got 10 new cases involving androids on my desk every day.
Wow.
We've always had isolated incidents. Old ladies losing their android maids and that kind of...
This answers my question.
But now, we're getting reports of assaults and even homicide, like that guy last night. This isn't just CyberLife's problem anymore.
No.
It's now a criminal investigation, and we've got to deal with it before the shit hits the fan.
I think it may have already done that.
I want you to investigate these cases and see if there's any link.
Why me?
Why do I gotta be the one to deal with this
Because
shit?
you hate androids.
I am the least qualified cop in the country to handle this case. I know jack shit about androids, Jeffrey. I can barely change the settings on my own phone. Everybody's overloaded. I think you're perfectly qualified for this type of investigation. Bullshit! The truth is, nobody wants to investigate these fucking androids.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
you let
right.
me holding the bag.
I think you're right, Hank.
CyberLife sent over this android to help with the investigation. It's a state-of-the-art prototype. It'll act as your partner. No fucking way! I don't need a partner, and certainly not this plastic prick.
Plastic again.
You are seriously starting to piss me off. You are a police lieutenant. You are supposed to do what I say and shut your goddamn mouth. You know what my goddamn mouth has to say to you? Okay. Huh?
Ooh, don't do that.
I'll pretend like I didn't hear that. So I don't have to add any more pages to your disciplinary folder, because it already looks like a fucking novel. This conversation is over.
Okay, that was a good encounter.
Why are you doing this to me? You know how much I hate these fucking
That's
things.
why he's giving you the job.
To me. Listen, I've had just about enough of your bitching. Either you do your job or you hand in your badge. Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got work to do.
Conversation over. Subject closed. Hank, not happy. Let's be
I'm
positive.
very pleased to have joined the team. I can assure you I'll do my very
Close the
best.
door on your way out.
Wow. And here's another person who has little time for androids.
Have a nice day, Captain.
You get the feeling that the police department has had these androids forced upon it. It's probably a budgetary thing. You know, it's cheaper to have an android than it is to pay a police officer. That old argument about robots, cheaper to employ to use a machine to replace a human with a machine. It's been happening for a while. Hank, are you okay? Let's go see Hank. Let's be pragmatic.
Listen,
We've got to
I know
work
you
together.
Don't like me, but we're going to have to work together.
Yes.
We'll both have to make an effort.
Yes. Come on, Hank. Let's be partners.
Now that we're partners, it would be great to get
You've
to
used
know
the P word. That might set him off. He's not happy, is he? Let's keep being positive.
In any case, I'd like you to know I'm very happy to be working with you. I'm sure we'll make a great team. Nice.
We're running out of things to say here, Hank. Join in.
Is there a desk anywhere I could use?
No one's using that one.
Oh, the one that faces him. Splendid. You can look up and see the cheery face of Connor staring at you, smiling at you, asking if you like anything fetching. Look, Connor, you have your own desk. Going up in the world. Oh, he's going to try and talk to him. Let's go down the anti-android route because, you know, we know he's anti-android, you're an android, but you can understand him.
A lot of people don't appreciate having androids around.
Yeah.
I was wondering,
He's one of them.
is there any reason in particular you despise me?
Despise you in particular, or androids. Ooh.
There is one.
Go on. Oh. Oh. Ask him what it is. Fowler? Who's Fowler? I'm going to press that because I can't remember what it means.
Have you known Captain Fowler for
Oh,
long?
Captain Fowler, the boss.
Yeah. Too long.
Ooh. What you mean is he knows you too well, doesn't he? I'm not going to try and be friendly going down the dog basketball music route.
I was wondering, do you always arrive at the office at this time?
That may not have been the best thing to ask.
I arrive when I arrive. Stop busting my balls, okay?
Well, you see, you annoyed him now. I should just start working. Or shall we try one? Let's try music. That's fairly inoffensive. I mean, basketball could be that he supports one team and, you know, and that's it. And dog could have a sad story, perhaps it's dead. But music's just music, isn't it? Let's go music.
Do you listen to Knights of the Black Death? I really like that music. It's full
You
of
do?
energy.
You listen to heavy metal?
Well, I don't really listen to music,
That's
as such,
hilarious.
but I'd like to.
Oh, Connor, that is so funny. Ah, but Hank sort of liked it. There was a little blue thing on there, wasn't there? Shall we try one more? Which ones do you think's less risky? The dog or basketball? Let's go with the dog. I'm going to regret this.
You have a dog, right?
How do you know that?
It could have been run over.
Chair.
Ah.
I like dogs. What's your dog's name?
What's it to you?
Oh, that's not very friendly.
Sumo.
Oh, thank you. Sumo.
I call him Sumo.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with basketball. We've had such good responses to the dog and to the music. I say good. At least he didn't tear his head off.
You're a Detroit Gears fan, right?
Yes. Spotted
Denton
the
Carter
baseball
scored
hat.
53% of his shots from the three-point line yesterday. Did you see the game?
That's what I was watching at the bar last night.
Oh dear, when you dragged him away. I told you you shouldn't have gone all that way. I couldn't stop myself. Let's just get some work
If you
done.
have any files on Deviants, I'd like to take a look at them.
I bet you would.
The terminal's on your desk. Knock yourself out.
Okay, okay. He didn't mean that literally, Connor. It's just a phrase. So we have missing androids. Plaintiff reported that he left his android at home as usual when he went to work. When he returned, the android was nowhere to be found. No trace of a break-in in the apartment. The android may have left the home without being ordered to. So, its own volition, huh? What else have we got? Isn't it interesting? Oh, this is an actual attack. The plaintiff claims to have been attacked by an AV500 number model android working as a waiter in the Fast Coney Dogs restaurant chain situated at 842 Chamberlain Avenue. The plaintiff claims the android lunged at him unexpectedly and attempted to strangle the man before leaving the scene. The android remains at large. That's weird. I mean, what kind of behaviour in a restaurant would have caused an android to suddenly at that point become deviant? Odd. Next. We have another one. The plaintiff claims to have been attacked by her android, AP700 number model. The android also trashed several rooms in the house before taking flight. Wow. Again, what could have preempted that? Here's another one. We have a disappearance. The plaintiff, the manager of the Eden Club, which we've heard of, have we not, reported the unexplained disappearance of a sex android model WR400 number. The android disappeared after accompanying a customer to his home and never returned to the club. Well, I think you might need to question the customer in that case as well. Maybe that's a weird one. Oh, destroyed. Aha! Famous painter Carl Manfred was found dead in his home following an altercation between his android and his son. The latter's witness statement attests to the android behaving violently. The android is thought to be a prototype, unknown model and serial number, and was destroyed at the scene by attending officers. So Connor's a prototype. Markus is thought to be a prototype. I wonder, makes me wonder now about Kara. The plaintiff claims he was violently attacked by his domestic android. Yeah, right. An AX400 model. So this is the report he's filed. The android had just returned from being repaired the previous day and had shown signs of aggression in the past. Oh, you're a snake, Todd Williams. Okay, we've looked at all the files. And we've got it all now in our head.
243 files.
Wow.
First dates back 9 months. It all started in Detroit and quickly spread across the country. An AX400 is reported to have assaulted a man last night. That could be a good starting point for our investigation.
He's gone to sleep. Hank's asleep. Hank? There he is. Come on. Let's be professional.
I know you didn't ask for this investigation, Lieutenant, but I'm sure you're a professional.
Why don't you go fuck yourself?
He's following the path that he told Amanda he would take. He's trying to... Oh, we're not going to resign the mission. Let's be determined.
I've been assigned this mission, Lieutenant.
True.
I didn't come here to wait until you feel like working.
Ooh, bit provocative.
Listen, asshole. If it was up to me, I'd throw the lot of you in a dumpster and set a match to it. So stop pissing me off. Or things are gonna get nasty.
Ooh.
Lieutenant, sorry to disturb you. I have some information on the AX400 that is...
Thank goodness for that. You turned up just at the right time.
In the Ravendale district.
Then I think we should go there.
On it.
Okay, Connor. I mean, yeah, you've got your suit ruffled. Is this why your tie always needs adjusting? Because people are always grabbing you by the neck? Don't overthink it. Waiting for Hank. Hank got a lead. Hank is mad. Yeah, we didn't do too much wrong there, I think. He told Amanda he would try to cooperate. He tried to get Hank on his side, kind of thing, as much as you can for someone who does not like androids. It's the next day. We've only had 2 days in this entire story, 5th and 6th of November. Ooh, Kara. We're back with Kara. Good. I presume androids don't sleep. I think they just put themselves in sort of self-healing rest mode to, you know, let whatever subroutines run that generally look after their bodies and the rest of them. The fire's still sort of glowing. I will revive the fire. Let's R1 the fire. And poke it with a poker. Stir those embers. I think you might need to put some more wood on. I was going to say that. I'm going to revive the fire. I'm going to find some more wood. Go that way. I don't know where you're going to find it though, because there wasn't any in here unless you break this chair up. Oh no, there's some in there. There's some in this plastic tub. Which Ralph, I think Ralph is his name. After I'd called him Ralph, I suddenly had this horrible feeling his name wasn't Ralph. But I think it is. Good work. Well done. Wait till Alice wakes. What was that thing on the table over there? Go get it. Detroit today. Let's keep up with the news. The first Android Zoo opens. US life expectancy is now 91. 0.4% of the world population holds 94% of global wealth. Isn't that about what it is today? Next page. Canada is still Android-free zone. Is it? There are no androids. Canada, where the air is clean and the welcome is always warm. Discover the landscape, discover the wild, discover Canada. Oh boy. It's positioning itself as a place where people who don't like androids can go and not have to have androids around them. Despite the United States voting in its Android Act as early as 2028, so it's 10 years of it, the Canadian Parliament has yet again pushed back its decision on whether to permit androids in the country. As a result, androids are still not sold in Canada and have no official status in the country. Right. Oh, that's it. We're back where we were. Oh, Canada. So, if you were waiting to flee the country... Hey, that's interesting. They've got no legal status. So, is that a possibility for... Oh boy. It's an old arcade cabinet. Ah, very good. I wonder if that's a possibility for Kara and Alice. Oh! RA9! What is this? Urban farm area. Urban fields. Okay. I'm alive. So, whatever happened inside the android that attacked Mr. Ortiz, whatever happened inside its mind, also happened inside Ralph's mind? Money. It is money. We'd better not take it, had we? Oh no, put it back. That might really annoy Ralph to the nth degree. It's a watch. It's broken. Ooh. Having just finished Red Dead Redemption, I suddenly had an echo there. Not Red Dead Redemption, I'm sorry. I mean, The Last of Us. The dead bird. Alright. Don't think we learned anything there. We learned something here, though. Let's get out of this room. It's spooky, and I don't like it. We can go upstairs, but I'm worried about leaving... Oh, look at that mirror. Why is it the androids are fascinated by mirrors? Is it that they don't spend time looking at themselves? I presume this is the thing. Ah. I should like to change appearance. Is it going to give me another chance to do that? Look in the mirror. And let's see if we can make that pop back up. Actually, do you know what? We may have to go upstairs to try and find some clothes, thinking about it. Since it said find new clothes. Alright, we have rooms to explore. Let's do it in a clockwise, anti-clockwise direction. Is there anything in here? Oh, I'm glad the game doesn't say pull back the curtain and find out what's there. That would be a jump scare moment. Let's go into this second room. There doesn't appear to be... I was wrong. Well, it's still raining. And it looks like it's early morning. Oh, heck. That wasn't a police car I just saw, was it? No, taxis. Scared myself there. There's nothing in this room of any value. Old gas cylinder. Love scrawled on the wall. Right, let's try the next room. I'm not sure we're going to find anything here of any value. There are no clothes in that fabric wardrobe. Ooh. Yes. Yes, please. Take it, Kara. Take some other stuff as well if you can. She's getting changed. Yeah, suits you, fits you too. How fortuitous. There were multiple other cut hair. Where would I do that? I do want to cut hair. I think that's a sensible idea. Can it be done in the bathroom? There is a mirror. I am looking. Is this where she's going to cut her hair? Yes, it is. She's going to cut her hair. Cut L1. Going long to short. Yeah. She's busily cutting her hair. Excuse me while I squiggle on my seat. Those of you who've seen these videos before will know that I have this inability to sit for very long in one position on a chair. It doesn't seem to matter which chair I use. It's all the same. We can choose what colour hair she has. I'm gonna say... let's go with the top option. Blonde. Oh, I see. We get to choose other colours too. No, I think we'll stick with that. Can we... Do we get to cycle through the options so we can... We can. I don't think she's going to look great with white hair, but we'll give it a bash. No, see, that doesn't look very human. From the point of view, she looks a little bit more like an android, I think. Maybe black. What should we go with? Shall we stick with our original decision and go with blonde? We'll do that. Yeah. She's going to do what Markus did. She's going to remove her data access transmission point thing. Oh, nasty. Yeah. There it was, gone. And it's healing itself. Is that not going to be difficult in situations should she need to communicate with other androids though? Will they not kind of... Oh, hang on. I missed an opportunity to open something there. This is a police vehicle.
Alright.
It's Hank.
Ready to go.
Whoa.
We've got officers sweeping the neighborhood in case anybody saw anything.
Oh, no, no,
Okay,
no.
Let me know if they turn anything up.
No.
What are you going to do with that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
So what do we got here?
Tell you what, Hank. Connor's got an agenda.
Seen at a convenience store.
Oh my god, they know where she is, where she's been.
It stole wire cutters.
Oh no.
There must be a reason.
Wire cutters? What the fuck are you talking about?
I checked the CCTV while you were questioning the clerk. The android was caught on camera stealing them. It had wire cutters, and it was looking for a place to hide.
So, what's your conclusion, Sherlock?
Well, his conclusion is 2 + 2 = 4. You look for somewhere where they need to cut wire to gain access. Oh, look!
Maybe it didn't go far.
Kara, run. Let's go get Alice. Oh, not you again.
Ralph found this to feed the little girl.
Yeah, Ralph, you're scaring her.
It's good for her.
Actually, you're scaring me, Ralph.
To make up for past misunderstandings. Ralph will cook. We will do just like humans do.
Actually, I wonder if Ralph can
Humans
be...
like burnt meat. Come. Come and sit down.
Oh, God. Let's refuse.
That's very kind of you, Ralph. But we have to go.
Go?
Oh, no, no, no. No, no.
No, you will go once the little girl is eaten. We will eat together, just like a family. You know, the father, the mother, and the little girl.
Oh, yeah, Ralph's not well. Do you know what? Let's sit down.
That's better. Ralph went to a lot of trouble to find something for the little girl to eat. It wouldn't be polite for her to refuse.
Oh, I'm really sorry about this, Ralph, but I don't think you're going to be alive much longer.
Great.
That's a heck of a big rat. Let's get out of here. Now, now.
Succulent, you'll see. Succulent. Succulent.
Suddenly I don't fancy to have my lunch.
Father, mother, little girl.
Let's go, Cora. Cora, let's go.
I don't want to eat that.
You're not going to eat it. Tell
She
her.
said she doesn't want to eat it.
Well, maybe it's not good enough.
No, don't say that.
Maybe she's used to better things. But Ralph did this for her, so she's going to eat!
You shouldn't do that. Cara's not resorted to violence yet, but I think she might.
Go ahead. Eat.
Deal with him, Cara. You had your chance, Ralph. Ralph. God, somebody else terrifying her. That poor kid. Cara, this has got to be the point where your programming goes, isn't
We're
it?
going to stand up now. And we're going to leave, Ralph.
No. No, you're not going to leave.
Oh, Ralph.
Until Ralph says so.
You see, I reckon if she still had a communication device...
You said you wanted to be like a family.
Yeah, let's try and reason with him.
Father, mother, the little girl, remember?
Yeah. And...
Father would never threaten his little girl with a knife to make her eat.
True. I thought you were going to say I've got to take her to school or something. That's true, Ralph. Come on. You can be reasonable, can't you? I know you're damaged, but that's no reason to behave like that.
A lot of trouble.
Understood. Appreciated.
He just wanted the little girl to eat.
Mm-hmm.
But Ralph is not bad. No. Not bad.
No. You're not. You're just misguided.
Then let us go.
Yes.
Anybody home?
Yeah, Ralph. You can help them get away. Ralph. Ralph. Oh no, we're playing as Connor. I don't want him to find them. Okay, I've got to play the game. Oh, this is harsh. This is making us do things we don't want to do. Beep. Android inside the house. That's what you learned from that, was it? We tried this door and it could not be opened. And now it does open. Oh, it was just Ralph. He's covered for them. Okay. Let's get in here. We'll scan you. Let's have a quick look. First, who are you? You are... Oh, you've got signs of software instability, probability of self-destruction moderate. Oh. WR600 gardener. He was a gardener. He's reported missing. Yeah, it sounds like he was very badly mistreated. Burn mark, irreversible skin damage, probable cause extreme heat. Someone's held something extremely hot against the android's skin. Ooh, stress level decreasing.
I'm looking for an AX400. Have you seen it?
Ralph's seen nobody.
Ralph's capable of lying, so he is now a deviant. Let's reassure him. He's always afraid.
I'm not going to hurt you.
He's heard that before. I mean, it was true when Kara said it, but I'm not sure he believes you. Let's go the deviant route.
Androids here?
Sorry.
No. Ralph is alone.
I mean, that's true at the moment. Ralph is alone in that room.
There's blue blood on the fence. I know another android was here.
Ralph scratched himself coming through. That's Ralph's blood.
I wonder if they can discern the difference between the different blood of different androids in the same way you could human beings and their blood samples. What else do we have? We've got a fire. Androids don't need heat. Perhaps he just likes seeing a nice fire. I mean, androids don't need to paint, but Markus did paint. Let's L1 the table. Oh, yeah. Table set for 3 people. Food. Androids don't eat. Perhaps he was just pretending. Maybe they're all his things and he just doesn't clear up after each meal. And you're looking at 3 meals. I'm making terrible excuses here. I'm starting to get really into these characters. Can we look at that? We can look at that. Detroit today. Oh, it's the wire cutters. The perfect tool to cut a wire fence. Oh, I'm thinking... Oh, look at his stress level going up. Yes, it's an arcade cabinet. We've seen that. Oh, Ralph's stress level's pretty darn high, isn't it? What have we missed in this room?
Connor, what the hell you doing in there?
I'm looking for things.
Coming, Lieutenant.
Let's check. Okay, he's seen it again now. RA9, I'm alive. No, I am alive. Subtle difference. I'm alive. But the RA9, although this time it's all written in capitals, which is interesting because last time it was lowercase r, uppercase A, and then a figure 9, wasn't it? Can you go upstairs? You can. Let's do it, Connor. Keeping a close watch on what time we have on the
upstairs?
No.
Clock here.
Nobody.
Alright. that's probably going to make you turn around and not bother going looking. What have we missed? What is this thing about this? I don't understand why it keeps going to this arcade cabinet. I've looked at it. There's nothing to see. Do you know what? I'm going to try and go upstairs again. Look at his level of stress going up as I head towards the stairs. Nope, it's not going to let me. Right, let's stop fiddling with the point of view. We're going to go back in here. No, we're not. His level of stress is... What is it I've missed here? We've done the fire. Yeah, we've established that androids don't need heat. We've established there's a magazine on there. What? I'm missing something in this room, am I? Oh, here we go. Hank's back. Hi, Hank. You took your time.
Did you find something?
No.
No, we didn't.
No, not here.
Yeah, just like I said in the first place. Come on, let's get out of here.
Connor, interesting. Why did he say it's not here? Does he know it's been there, but he's telling Hank it hasn't? Or does he seriously think it hasn't been there? Which of those is true? Over there all the time. Oh. Well done, Ralph. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yes.
Protect the little girl.
I think that's the objective.
The humans must not find her.
Okay. That sounds a bit off. Why? Well, she's going to protect the little girl. The humans must not find her. Must not find you. Not both of you. Run, Kara, run! Alright. Kara and Alice undiscovered in the squat. Connor failed, but Kara and Alice succeeded. And Connor failed not because I was hoping he was going to fail, but he just genuinely failed. I did try to investigate the squat thoroughly, but there's things I missed there. There's an option there on interrogating the squat android, which, yeah, I didn't ask the right questions of Ralph at one point there. Something I missed there too, which would have opened up a completely different ending. Ooh, that would have gone on for some time. Oh, right. Okay, look at this. Look at this. There's a massive option there. Huge, which I guess may have happened had Connor looked in the right place, asked a different question, or had Ralph reacted in a different way when Kara tried to win him over and become antagonistic towards her instead. Yeah, I mean, the replayability of this game is very high. I knew from the very little I'd read about the game before I started that there were sort of multiple possible endings to the game. I didn't know anything about the characters. I didn't know anything about the context of the game at all, or the way the storyline would unfold. So this is all new, and I don't know, what it is I missed, or what would have happened had I gone the other way at that branching point, which was way back. I mean, very way back. In fact, the only place it linked up was there. There was a different sort of on-the-run branch here, which started all the way back and continued and continued and continued, and only joined up with the branch we're on now at this point, where the questioning was going on in the disused house. Okay, right, that is the point at which I'm going to stop. That's a sensible place to stop. We're on an hour and 20 something minutes, I think, maybe a bit less when I've edited one or two bits out where I was waiting for menus and things. So basically, the absence of Markus is noticeable. There's nothing to report on the Markus front. Another instance of RA9, another instance of I'm Alive. We now know that there are 2 prototype CyberLife androids which are out there in the wild. One of them is Connor, who's known about. Everyone knows that. The other one they suspect is Kara. Although, why? If she'd been damaged and repaired, why would no one have spotted that there was something a little odd about her in the process of her being repaired? Surely they would have noticed that this is not a stock android. I don't know. Many questions, no answers at this point. That's where I'm going to stop. I shall think hard before the start of episode 5. I'll be writing up my notes as usual, and I'll be making some discussion points to talk about before episode 5 starts. No shortage of those at the moment because there's a lot of puzzling things going on here. I hope you enjoyed episode 4, and please do join me, if so, for episode 5 of Detroit Become Human soon. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.